Let's talk about what nobody likes to talk about. All the leveling up, the upgrading yourself, everything the media pushes on you nowadays is futile if there exists one little bug in your mind. That bug is what we call self-loathing, or you may know it as self-hatred. It's not a disorder itself, but it is one of the major symptoms of depression. The thing is, a lot of people exhibit signs and live their lives in ways that signal self-loathing. However, they're usually unaware. Our minds have a great power of normalizing itself to new realities, however horrid they may be. It's like how you stop noticing the stench in your surrounding, but when someone else walks in, it hits them like a truck. You might live your life pretty normal, but feel a chronic void within yourself. You might be feeling incomplete or out of place within yourself, and still never realize you have to do something about it. To ensure you don't fall victim to that horrendous existence, I'm going to share with you the 11 hallmark signs of self-hatred that you must be on the lookout for. If you exhibit any of these, you need to be a lot more conscious. It might be working like slow poison in your mind and you never realize. Stick around till the end, as I'll be sharing how you can get rid of this awful habit. You don't want to miss it. Let's get into it. Number 1, you constantly neglect your self-care. Do you want your loved ones to be happy and taken care of? Chances are, you probably answered yes right away, because when we love someone, we want what's best for them and we look after them. So if you really loved yourself, you'd want that too. This is why neglecting your self-care is a form of self-hatred. You don't sleep well, you're not eating right, you don't exercise, you don't try to look nice for yourself, and you don't do the things that make you happy because deep down inside, you don't really care about yourself. Number 2, you're incredibly cynical about your surroundings. When you hate everything about yourself, you will hate the world you live in too. Thus, you will always find negativity more often than positivity. You don't like your society, your lifestyle, your environment, or even the air around you. What's happening beyond the surface is that you're actually trying to escape from yourself, not the place where you live. When you love yourself enough, no matter how cruel the world is, you will never have the feeling of wanting to run away from reality because you are your home. As cliche as it is, remember that if you can't respect, love, and appreciate yourself enough, who will? Number 3, you're too hard on yourself. It's hard for you to forgive yourself, and you will always blame yourself. You never appreciate your hard work, and you always feel that your efforts will never be enough to make other people accept you. You care too much about other people's approval and put that weight on your own shoulders. Number 4, you're afraid of having big dreams. Why? Because you don't believe that you can achieve them. You always look down on yourself, and it makes you afraid to go beyond your comfort zone. You hate the possibility of rejection and failure because those would make you feel worthless. Thus, you always hide in your shell and avoid those opportunities. Number 5, you're afraid to fall in love. Falling in love is something scary because it's very hard for you to be vulnerable with others. You don't want them to realize that you are not perfect because you can't even fully accept yourself. You always focus on your flaws instead of your strengths. Thus, it makes it hard to believe that anyone will ever love you. It makes you close your heart from experiencing love. Number 6, you do regularly pity yourself. When you hate yourself, self-pity will become a daily habit. You enjoy being sad and you complain a lot about your life. You always see your life as black and white, never in color, and you like to post those sad quotes everywhere so people know just how sad you are. You tend to forget that you are the only one who can make yourself happy because everyone is busy saving themselves. Number 7, you compare yourself to others. For you, the grass is always greener on the other side. You don't get the concept of being grateful for what you have, and you always find your life less satisfying than someone else's. Your jealousy grows by regularly consuming other people's posts on social media too closely, and this destructive habit makes you hate yourself even more. Number 8, you have trouble accepting compliments. It's hard for you to believe that you are at all worthy of compliments. Thus, no matter how many people give you compliments, you won't believe them. When they give you compliments, you insecurely question them and feel like they don't mean it. You're too self-critical and it kills your self-esteem. Number 9, you always put extra effort towards fitting in. When you hate being yourself, You will try so hard to be somebody else that you will almost always fake it around others, and your life is all about building a good impression. When you love yourself enough, you won't even care about impressions. You'll practice self-love by doing whatever you love to do, and you will surround yourself with the people who are genuinely accepting of you. Number 10. You take other people's criticisms personally. You don't believe in compliments, but you take other people's critiques too seriously. For you, their opinions about your life are extremely important because you always see your success through other people's eyes. You care too much about what people say. You always let other people control your thoughts because it's hard for you to realize that this is your life, not theirs. Lastly, number 11. You're obsessed with social media. When you hate yourself, you will always need approval and validation from others. If you constantly check your social media accounts just to find out how many likes you get, or how many people view your Insta story, you need to pause and ask yourself why. Realize that you don't need people to like your post if you like yourself enough in real life. If you notice any of these 11 signs happening in your mental space, I want you to start working on rectifying it from this exact point onwards. Delaying is not going to solve anything. It's only going to make it worse and worse, until the volcano erupts and devours everything along its path. You don't want that to ever happen. To start stepping in the right direction and getting rid of that toxin in your system, here's what you can start doing. Firstly, start deliberately shunning your inner critic. Whenever you notice a self-depreciating thought arise, check it and do not let it go unnoticed. Tell yourself, wow, that's a lame thought to have. Anyways, let's go about what I was doing. It might seem insignificant, but it changes your entire perspective of your day. Where you might have belittled your own self and felt something of the sorts of quiet quitting, you'll instead be rejecting those personal attacks and be putting your best foot forward in whatever you do. Next, you should also try journaling as an exercise. Whenever you feel like you're having thoughts in your mind, like the very specific kind of thoughts which make you feel a way, pick up a random book or even just a piece of paper and start journaling. Let those raw thoughts become words. Observe the narrative being laid before your eyes, and guess what you have to do next? Nothing. Maybe sometimes in the future, you'll read those old notes and find those perspectives amusing. However, they'll work in strengthening who you are as an individual. Lastly, you want to identify your strengths and focus on those. Everyone has their own set of gifts. If you think you don't, first of all, it's a big sign of self-loathing. Second, it's just that you haven't looked enough yet. Everyone has that something which they can affirm is their best trait or what they're best at doing. You want to discover those parts of your personality and make them your highlight, not your weaknesses. If you're short, don't constantly whine about your height. Instead, be proud of and highlight your great cooking skills or maybe your charisma. With that, I'll conclude this video. Make sure you support the channel by dropping a like and subscribing for more content coming in the near future. See you in the next one. Stay blessed.